Did we hit the countdown timer? Oh, I forgot to turn this on. See, it's got, it's, oh, it doesn't really, I thought it was gonna, is that better? Can you see it? Like, it's all lit up from the inside. That's it. I don't know. I was watching Stacy Croy very briefly, and she had the helmet with like a light inside of it. I'm like, that's pretty cool. I'm thinking this helmet may be going in the donation pile. It is definitely beat up and secondhand-ish. It may be disappearing. Believe it or not, I'm actually eliminating a Star Wars. This is the one I think that cut Diana, or is it? Can't even remember. Is that the one that cut Diana? One of them cut Diana. I can't remember who cut the Diana. Welcome everybody to tonight's stream. I am not yet done with the print tonight, a practical print that Krusty would be proud to see. I'm also not finished with this, and you know I'm not finished because unfortunately the Rancor are missing here. I'll be printing those Rancor out soon enough. This was the thing that I was printing last night, overnight. It was originally a different color. This was printed at 0.2 mm layer height and then sprayed gold. I really like that gold look to it. So I'm thinking about possibly reprinting this at a 0.1 mm layer height, because it's seemingly a perfect scale, not just for the intended figures, the play action figures, and I'll show you those in just a second. But also the 3 3/4 inch scale, like the vintage collection. This is a really good thing. So it'll look even better with the Rancor up front. I didn't really have too many snags with this. I will be printing out the Rancor though, specifically in the brown filament, and then gluing it on here. This is going to be for Jedi to use. The original intended use case is specifically with the play action figures, because this is a play action model, and I think he did a really good job. I sent him some feedback suggesting that, you know, there does need to be supports in here possibly, but beyond that, it was a pretty good print. So I'm going to be doing this again in a sharper resolution for me. This is one it's going to be for Jedi. So Jedi is getting her own. I guess she wanted her own. I don't know why. I think she needs one that's a little bigger for her action figures, for her dolls. Today is the anniversary of the Star Tours at Disneyland. It is. That is true. By the way, thank you, Brian Shue, for following. I think you followed during the countdown timer. Welcome. Did I get the email I sent? Which email? You sent me an email. I apparently did not yet get an email from you that I know of. I know that earlier this week we got messages, Wayne, from about the order, saying that the address did go through, but I don't have a tracking number on it. You might have the tracking number on it. I don't. Hey, Coastline, good to see you. You're gonna ask how the print came out. It came out great. You know, for the play action series, it came out wonderfully. This is at scale. I printed it pretty much straight up like this. The runes were definitely intact, but like I said, I think they could have stood to be of higher resolution. The runes. It's sprayed gold. I like the gold look to it. It's very regal. So yeah, it definitely works. The figure isn't print in place. No, this figure not print in place. This is, I mean, it's one shape. Nothing really to be modified. This figure is part of the play action series. This is the newer Boba Fett. The older Boba Fett, even though I didn't color him, it looks like a prototype. I didn't print out, you know, the different pieces in different colors. But yeah, this is individual pieces that are printed off potentially at the same time and then assembled after the fact. So not quite print in place. And then I've had this particular Boba Fett on an older Boba Fett, a Return of the Jedi Boba Fett, for quite some time, sitting on a throne that was slightly scaled up, not quite this scale, and so I'm glad that Play Action has developed, won this scale, because it works, I think, exceedingly well for until we get an actual vintage collection. If we ever do get a vintage collection throne, it makes a nice a go-between, if you will. So she's gonna have a couple of models for it. Maybe she's only gonna use one. Maybe she can use both. I don't know. I don't know how that's gonna play out yet. Suffice to say, this was finished in relatively good time. This is not the completed model. The completed models when we get a good picture of it and everything. But while the blue was on yesterday, I opted to print the blue Vader figurine, 0.2 mm layer height, decent detail. Supports came like almost right off instantaneously. But you know, if given the choice, I think I'd rather spend more time printing these. I'd rather print at a 0.1 mm layer height because the details are definitely finer. But you know, in terms of enjoyment, 0.2 is just fine. Tonight I'm doing this, or at least potentially having to redo tonight's practical / fun print, and then after that, probably swapping back to the other filament to do another. Wait, no, I gotta do the Rancor faces, and then potentially reprint a piece of this because it looks like it didn't print very well. The smaller piece shouldn't take too long to print, but it looked like there was an anomaly. So I'm going to print out 4 of the Rancor faces, not just 2 for Jedi's dais, for Jedi's throne, as well as the one that I'm going to do for me. You heard that not too far from you? What? Oh, sorry. Yeah, I'm missing out on a lot of the news. I understand. I don't want to get too deeply into it, because some people get really upset when we talk about that kind of thing. But this is a part of what I'm printing tonight. This is the important part of what I'm printing tonight. If you can't tell, it is going to be this box of sorts. That's what it looks like, right? It looks like it's to be assembled. I'm not even sure how it's going to go together. But this is eventually going to be... I don't know how that base piece is going to work because... Hey, Big Jano. Shout out to you and thanks for the cheer.
B1G_Yano cheer Dex 100. A box that rocks.
A box that rocks? It kind of does. Except for one part of that lower... portion, it just did not seem to print very well, and it could have been because of having to swap between filaments. Sometimes that happens, so I may have to reprint depending on how that works. I don't know how it's all going to come together either. Suffice it to say, it's 75% done, about an hour left to go on this, and basically what happens is after it's assembled, there we go, thank you, Fix 'em Dude. Fix 'em Dude's definitely all over the shout outs tonight. And of course, shout out to all y'all, including a shout out to Coastline 3D Prints. Good to see you again. You saw the Harlem Globetrotters today. Wow. This is going to allegedly sit inside, and then I can move it up and down to basically pick up a toothpick and then pop up with the toothpick like being held on over the Tusken Raider's head. Allegedly, that's how this is going to work. But I haven't tried it yet. You just swapped your nozzle. That's probably something I'm going to have to do in 2022. Not looking forward to it. Shen Yun. I've heard about that, Mark H. Glad they had a good time. Me, I'm just trying to mentally prepare for this week. And let me tell you, it's going to be one hell of a mental preparation. It is... My brain in
Joshua _XP cheered X100, first cheer of the night. Maybe a hype train tonight? We shall see.
Not quite the first cheer. First cheer goes to Big Jano. First cheer goes to Big Jano. There you go. There's a shout out for you, Coastline 3D Prints. Coastline 3D Prints, apparently 3D Prints. He interacts at least in chat. Although I haven't had a chance to tune in yet. I was jumping all over everybody's streams tonight. Or this afternoon. In and out. It was fun. Oh, you're live now. That's funny. See, you can multitask. I can't. I can't. Where is Big Jano? Big Jano is here. Right there. Bam. Anyway. I guess I have a few other things to show. Things worthy of screenshotting.
What's this hype train you're talking about?
Oh, Fix 'em Dude. You just had to do that, didn't you? Just had to do it. Well, fine. Be my guest. Be my guest. Be my guest. Let me show you my supple breast. Sorry. Here's something that I picked up today. I'm not sure if we had this before. I'm happy that you enjoyed that, Joshua. I'm going to assume you enjoyed that. I just blinded Fix 'em Dude. You blinded Fix 'em Dude with science. This is a loofah that you could use on your pecs. Actually, it's not a loofah. It's a poof. A poof. It's a poof. I think I showed these before, though. I can't remember if I showed them recently. Either way, I was out shopping today, and they had them. I'm like, all right, well, I guess we could use a few more poofs. Not quite cheesy poofs, but poofs nonetheless. All poofy. Like my hair when it's not shaved. The next things I have to show you in preparation for Valentine's Day. I'm not sure how many of these we're going to find. They had the holiday stuff, like the Christmas stuff. They were out. Halloween stuff was out. Even Thanksgiving stuff was out. But I'm worried that the supply chain has pretty much halted any of this kind of home goods. So I found this unique branded Grogu Valentine's dishcloth. Pretty much the same day. Another one. Here we go. Love. METHODOFLOVE. Love. You don't know the species name yet, and then this is the way to my heart. To my heart. I have to hold them sideways because, this is not a vertical video. Unfortunately. This is the way to my heart. And then I got two of these, so we'll be able to use them. This is the way. Wait. Two of this is the way. And this one, I only got one of. The love is strong with this one. So like I said, I'm hoping that the shop will get new inventory, because it seems that these are going to be prevalent. I'm hoping, keeping my fingers crossed. Maybe it will happen, maybe it won't. Let me flip back there. Hacks on Max, good to see ya. Welcome to the play shop. Look at this guy showing off a loofah. Of course. What else am I going to show off? My 3D prints? I already did that. And the loofahs. Is that the kind of love between a man and a woman? Or the love for a big fat Cuban cigar? Possibly. I don't know. I've had cigars in the past. That's funny, Fix 'em Dude.
Fix 'em Dude cheered X100, loofah doobity doo.
I've got another 3D print for you. What do you get when you spray paint a seat and place Boba Fett in between it? So neat. Kinda looks like it will be to scale. What do you think? Will I don't know where I'm going with that. I petered out. I started down the path of singing the song "Fix 'Em Dude," but I couldn't see it all the way through. Some days the lyrics are with me. Other days, well, I'm here. My only goal, I've decided. I don't know if it's a resolution. My only goal for 2022 is to survive.
B1G_Yano Cheerdex 100 Oscar Award for Best Supporting Actor goes to you.
I am printing supports here on this print. Does that count, Big Jano? And there's Otter's Den Garden. Otter's Dan God, I can't talk. I can't speak, y'all, with your usernames. Otter's Danger Den! I was thinking Dengar, right? That did not happen. I was watching. I was in. Well, not physically, but watching Otter's Danger Den earlier today. Otter's Danger Den. It was very dangerous there. So, very...
Clown Cheerdex 100 Grunkalone Kadunkany ingredient. You should not ask about the secret ingredient.
Alright, Fucho. That works. I'm going to borrow that because my phraseology was, well, let me just say that it probably could have used a loofah. See, this is the problem with, like, Star Wars merch like this. It's intended to be used, but who wants to use it? Like, wouldn't you want to collect this instead? Use it or collect it. I have a problem with that. This is a duplicate, an extra. So this is meant for Jedi. Oh, she is taking a bath. Is she still taking a bath? I should throw it into the tub. Go, poop. I thought she had some. I don't know. They never got used. They disappeared. What happened to our other loofahs? I know she had them, but she never used them. Why? I don't even know where they are. Okay, now I've become very concerned.
B1G_Yano Cheerdex 100 Star Wars 10 Willy Wonka and the Charlie Factory NFTs coming February 2022.
You messed that up? NFT, as far as I'm concerned, is short for nice freaking toy. Or nostalgic freaking toy. I'm gonna take NFT back. Thank you, Tripods Garage. Must be used. This is the way. Fair enough. If you can read this tiny text, don't worry, you aren't missing anything. Oh, is it still so tiny? It is. I don't know what the hell I did with that particular redemption. Screwed it up. Apart from screwing it up, that was the. That was that. Totally messed up the hype train too, didn't I? My bad. NFT. No effing thanks. Up my sub goal. I can't. I can't change my goal. We're in January. We made the goal. She about to come out. What do you... Diana's all dropping the grammar here. She about to come out. Diana needs to buy an apostrophe S. I can set up a February goal. When we get to February, we can try ratcheting it up. But, you know, it's really weird to like, hey, here's our goal for January. We made it. Like, I'm happy to say we made it. That's great. Then we can possibly move it up a bit. NFT, Neo from the Matrix. Oh, come on, Big Jano, really? I'm still in the corner. I gotta ask a question here. Oh, I hear Jedi screaming from the other room.
Joshua underscore XP underscore cheered X 100. 2 plus 2 is 4. 2 plus 2 is 4. 2 plus 2 is 4. 2 plus 2 is 4.
Well, you know, you could repeat that all you want. Doesn't make it true. Just because you heard it on the internet, it may not actually be true. That may not actually be factual. It could be fake. Look, I got what the hell's exploding out of my head? What is that? You can tell I'm running on a very powerful Intel machine because my Kappa gens are smooth. There are some streams I tune into and it's just like 2 frames a second. Like, oof. Didn't realize I was that blessed to balance that out. It's very Kappa gens are very, very CPU intensive. Very, very, very.
Joshua underscore XP underscore cheered X 100. Fine. 2 plus 2 is fish or 2 plus 2 is butterfly.
Is it though? Really? Is that factual? Is that true? Yes, I have seen that. Big fan, thank you. We have those. Unfortunately, they haven't updated them in a while. You heard some guy calling himself a beetle say that 1 and 1 and 1 is 3. Very suspicious. Well, not if they come together right now over me. Looks like boring old boxes, isn't it? It's just. Look at you! Thank you, Liz, for the cheer. Appreciated. So I do have to remember there's a trick, right? And even Loyal reminded me of this last night. Rotating these types of prints by 45 degrees to save time. And it does cut off some time. My only mistake with this print is that I didn't move the short print out to the outside, and so there's some travel time that I feel like I could have saved, a few minutes on. I understand we've lost a few celebrities this week. There's no doubt about that. I'm careful about discussing death on streams. I mean, yeah. Am I familiar with Betty White's work? Yes. Sidney Poitier's work, somewhat. Bob Saget's work, yes, absolutely. The thing, though, in talking about death is that there are people out there who are going through it and still processing their own grief. And it's not an easy conversation to have. And honestly, it's not really a conversation that I have on a regular basis. My feeling is this, and Liz has got a good, way of capping this. The best way to honor people is to watch their movies and shows and share your favorites. I feel that way. Or, more importantly, appreciate them before they're gone. So as much as, yes, it's important to reflect. It's important to know what we've lost. It's like you don't know what you've got till it's gone. People complain, and I'm thank God I'm not talking about death in this particular example that I'm about to share, but there are things that I've done in the past that people say they missed. I'm like, well, you shouldn't have missed it at the time that it was happening, because the reason it's gone is because not enough people were paying attention. So it's a situation where you don't realize what you have until you no longer have it. And I feel that's important, even with celebrities, with characters, with the characters that we've known and loved, as portrayed by celebrities. Rose Nyland, or, what was it, Danny Tanner? it's that's something that, if anything, should realign what you appreciate, because if you don't realize that what you have could be gone tomorrow, it's not just setting the stage such that if it was gone, you'd be able to survive, but also knowing, wow, that's something that you absolutely appreciate, because if you didn't have it tomorrow, your life would be lacking in one way, shape, or form. Yes, much love to you, Can't Stop Lying. Very appreciated. So, I don't want it, because, people do die. And I don't think that when I go, it will be, not celebrated is the wrong word, but, I won't be trending on Twitter. I'm fairly confident. And I'm kind of grateful for that. There's a lot of undue attention. But, trying my best to make an impact, which I know I've done with other people's lives, besides farting around here on Twitch, but also trying to find my place, and that's something that I feel like I haven't been too sure about in recent years, finding my place. And I've been, I feel, as successful as I could be with certain things that I've done, but I still don't know. I know who I am, but finding my place has been challenging. It's been an immense challenge. That's the easiest way to put it. I don't know how to put a finer point on that. You made beef bourguignon. I don't even know how to say that. I can't eat it, so I'm not even boeuf, boeuf, bourguignon, bourguignon. Well, Liz, I hope you enjoy it. I hope it's more delicious than the way I'm making it sound. I could make it with mushrooms, but then wouldn't it be shroom bourguignon? You've done some soul searching to find my place and have a renewed self-belief. I don't know where I fit. And honestly, part of that discovery is exhilarating. It's interesting. I'm trying new things. I've been open to that and facing new challenges, but I know who I am. That's not the problem. I know who I am. Not a problem. The problem is where I belong. And it's not so simple as, you got some people who make, jackass statements like, well, all you have to do is follow your passions and interests. I'm like, well, that's kind of bullspit. That's not true. It's not. Because it's just not true. Like, you got to be smart about it. And your passions and interests have to have a crossover by which, your economic realities are realized without falling into disarray. So I don't think it comes down to the flippant statement of just follow your passions and interests, follow what makes you happy. Yeah, no, if it were that easy, everybody would be able to do it. Like, it's not as simple as, well, just do what makes you happy. I think that's a good a guidepost on your journey, but it's not the answer. It doesn't get you anywhere. What would make me happy is being able to do this. But the economic reality is that there would need to be different elements in place for this to happen in the way that it would need to happen, such that I did not have to concern myself with other realities. So I know who I am. I'm not sure where I belong, and I'm working on it, and trying to do different things. Trying to push myself and push my boundaries, which is not as comfortable for me as it might be for others. Thank you for following Moisen. Would you rather have Weird Al Yankovic retire without putting out a new album or tour? Or would you rather have Weird Al Yankovic put out a greatest hits album, do a final tour like the one he's doing this year? Oh, a new album. But that's neither one of them's viable. I don't understand the question. Yeah, that's not really a would you rather. It's just you're asking. They're two sides of they're this same sides of the same faces of one coin. They sound exactly the same. I'm not sure exactly what's going on in chat right now, but you had a friend who helped you with weight loss. He's vegan, first vegetarian, felt he was a forager in the past life, so he became vegan. Okay, well, everyone's got a different past. I belong to the city. I belong to the street. I belong to the streets? Really? That's really, Krusty? That's how you see me? I'm that? Am I excited for Boys in June? I don't know. Excited's probably not the right word. Interested? Yes. Excited? Probably not. Congratulations on your sports ball. Would I consider Ernest Borgnine to be my grandpa? No. Although I'm happy to say that Ernest Borgnine did make a lyric in Weird Al Yankovic's song, Horoscope. Or that's your horoscope for today. Can't wait for the Peacemaker TV series. I'll watch it. I'm very much... Oh, you wanted me to break out into song? I don't want to get copyright stricken. Shout out to CNEUP76. What sort of chocolate goodness is being printed tonight? A Tusken Raider toothpick pusher upper. So this is the Tusken Raider item. And the idea is, I guess I have to figure out how to put it together. And this goes down, and then it pushes up. And then in the slot, a toothpick will get held in the slot. If that makes sense. Assuming this all comes together okay. It's 86%. About a half hour left to go on this particular print. I may have to reprint the one of these pieces because it's definitely not. It is not looking good. It's not looking good. It's not. Yeah, so I'm hoping it comes out okay. I'm doing it for Krusty because he's all into practical printing. I'm like, this is practical because you know everyone needs a tube, but I'm still not sure how the F it's gonna work. So I got to figure out, I think the one piece gets shoved up, and I think maybe I have to put the slot, this has got to slot in somehow. And I may need to, like I said, reprint the piece in the middle, which is okay. I'll reprint that, and then I've got like 4 Rancor pieces to do. Well, I'll reprint that real quick, because it'll take no time at all. And then I've got to do the 4 Rancor pieces for, 2 for the one that I'm doing for Jedi's Throne, and then 2 for the one that I'm going to be doing, because I'm reprinting, potentially reprinting this tonight before I go to bed at a 0.1 mm layer height. It'll take a while, but it'll be a much sharper resolution. What is it? No, it's a toothpick pusher upper thingy. Here, let me get you the link. Tusken. There's not a lot of Tusken Raider items on anywhere, but it's that. You made a version of this a couple years ago, Elf model. Oh, Gamer260, nice. I guess I have a charades. I'm looking for the charades. Where's the charades? Oh, okay. Here we go. It's a movie. Oh wait, let me go bigger. You know, just in case you need to see me, large screen. Not like you absolutely needed this, but movie. 2 words. First word. Ghost is the first word. Second word is dad. See, I'm a dad. I'm a ghost dad. Well, I'm not a ghost dad yet. Ghost dad, I have to say, I watched in theaters. I do remember watching it in theaters. I remember virtually nothing of the film, apart from enjoying seeing another movie in theaters. That was fun. That was the most fun part about it, is just going to the theater. I think I saw it for $1. Yeah, I don't remember spending a lot of money. Thank God. Was that the one? There's a few movies that I just had no interest in after starting to watch them in theaters. I can't remember if I was ready to walk out of that one. I may have been too young, but I remember thinking this is just not doing it for me in the middle of watching it. That's bad. That's how you know it's bad. Like when you're a kid and you're ready to walk out of the movie theater, that's bad. Because that's the thing. As a kid, like, what else do you have to look forward to? Nothing. So, going to the movie, going to some kind of movie, okay, fine. I'm going to go sit in the corner while the moderators work on charades. How you doing, Vader? You're dusty. I heard it. Hang on. Okay, I think I need a new one of these because this is not collecting the dust here. Alright, Boba Fett, you stand down here then. Thank you, Joshua. I have come back. And Liz, I have come back. Ooh, yeah. Man, Krusty. I love that series. Alright, this is a movie. 4 words. First word, the. Second word, apple. The apple. And then third word, the Apple Dumpling Gang. And then the Apple Dumpling Gang rides again. It's one of those movies now that you mention it. I kind of want to, if it's on Disney Plus, that may be something that I need to have on in the background tomorrow as I try to get through tomorrow. Tomorrow is definitely going to be a Monday. And tomorrow is oh. Diana's birthday. Watch Office Space tomorrow? No. I need something that gets my mind off of what I'm about to go through. That's the easiest way to put it. I'm definitely pushing my passions to their limits. That's the easiest way to put it. It is going to be very intense. That's the easiest word. I think that's what I'm looking for. Something I've never experienced and very intense. But I'm hoping fruitful. And I know I will be picking up so many new skills. 3D printing is nothing compared to the skills I'm about to pick up. Getting out of my comfort zone. Yeah, it's something that, it's like a careful what you wish for. It may just come true. It is not, it's not because it's a lot of processes that I've never been exposed to. You know, I've always run parallel to. It's a bit harrowing, but not without not without knowing that in a few months it's going to be a different ball game. I don't know who Fred Garvin is, so don't call me that. I have no idea who he is. But my name is definitely not Fred. I need to reslice that middle piece, don't I? Ah, come on. Really? Is it the slide? It's called the slide. The middle part, then no, that's not it. Slide is not it. Lid? Oh, it's the lid. Okay, so I need to reprint the lid. Okay. It won't take any time at all, like 17 minutes to reprint the lid. Not long at all. So we'll see if this lid even works. So that's the lid. So I must put... How do I... So that's upside down. Flip it. Smack down, flip it, and reverse it. That goes in the base. I'm trying to look at the pieces here to figure out how they all kind of fit in to one another. Give me a second. It's kind of hard to explain, but like one... So there's the groove. And then the Tusken Raider must fit in there. It dips down and then pushes up. Then there's a lid, so it comes out of the lid. So that's on top. Okay. So it's basically going to be a chocolate box with the Tusken Raider. Or brown box with the Tusken Raider. I can easily print the... I thought brown would work because this is kind of a tan. So the brown and the tan color I thought would be quite complementary. I could easily do it in a black as well. Rig it so when you pull up a toothpick you hear the Tusken battle cry. Mystery Goat, I am not that skilled. You have far more faith in me than I have skills. I could not do that. Someone else could. Someone else could figure out how to do that. Let me put it this way: as much as I can figure out, I can figure out how to get it to work, likely. And I've even got toothpicks on deck. So I'm like, all right, gotta try it. Hopefully, will these toothpicks fit? Toothpicks are a dime a dozen. All right, we'll try it. The one you made was designed by DSK. You had some weight to the base. Lift up side of the box. It pulled the figure to the base. Yeah, I'm not sure how this is going to work yet. There's no weight to it, though. I'm not sure if it's like a two-handed... If it works, like that's the win. If it works. That's all I want it to do, is work. Everything else is a bonus. Yeah, and someone else who is far more enterprising than I could figure out how to get all fancy with it. Me, it's just like, hey, if it's functional, I'm happy. Beyond that, I don't think so. Oh, no worries, Gamer260. I don't plan on printing a lot of toothpicks or toothpick pusher upper thingies. We have the Vader one where it does this and then it pulls out the toothpick. That one. But since, Tusken Raiders are now in the Book of Boba Fett, I'm like, well, what out there? What's out there? It's Tusken Raider, and this is really the only Tusken Raider item I could find that didn't look like garbage or wasn't specifically designed for cosplay, material building. The only one that I can find, a Tusken Raider toothpick model. So I was like, all right, I'll give that a shot. Because, there's just not enough Tusken Raider stuff. If you want Gamer260, feel free to link it. There may be other people who are interested. But I'm saying don't do it for my specific benefit. Someone else may be down for it, though. So many models to be printed. What design would you like? Coastline. I'm a figure kind of guy, but I'm surprised there just aren't many, if any, Tusken Raider anythings out there to print. Coastline. Or let me put it this way: everything that I've seen just doesn't. It isn't. It ain't that much. I'm like, there's nothing that I'm specifically looking for, though. Like, oh, I wish I had a Tusken Raider, this, that, or the other thing. I did request the Playmobil guy. I did. I'm like, hey, when are you going to do a Jawa, a Tusken Raider? Come on. Do it. Do it. He hasn't yet. He's been busy in other things. What's the next movie I'm going to watch? No clue. I don't know. I honestly, it's going to be difficult for me to look like a day down the line, let alone. My mind is just it's scattershot. My mind is in 13 different places right now, and I can't concentrate. It's hard for me to concentrate on stuff. So it's never, it's never been easier to distract me, which is a problem. What was the first Star Wars toy I remember playing with? First Star Wars toy I remember buying was the AT-AT driver. Playing with, probably about the same. I mean, I don't remember playing with a lot of stuff, seeing even a lot of Star Wars stuff before then. Which is just, it's kind of strange, but I don't remember a lot. It wasn't a friend who pulled me into it, unfortunately. That would have been a different story. Ron's Gone Wrong. Cobra Kai was a great distraction. Yeah, it was. Ron's Gone Wrong. I know it's on, and I guess another Disney film or Pixar film is going straight to Disney Plus soon too. Yeah, those are fun, but like I said, it's like I've got. Work is going to be very intense, like intense, and this is what I'm speaking to. Just intense, and that's it's a challenge that I'm going to be facing head on, and learning new skills. Or maybe it's entirely possible that I'll be able to refine skills. More than learning. I mean, and yeah, learning is a part of the process, but refining, could be, just as much something that happens. Refining skills. But it's a lot of unknown. You know what you mean? We're gearing up to start one of the biggest projects I've ever been a part of. I'm going to be right at the forefront of it. Yeah, Kurt, that's kind of not exactly what I'm doing, but I'm definitely in more of a driver's seat than, for something that has a different set of deliverables than anything that I've done before. That's probably the most fair way to say it. Thank you for following Redneck Lovin' Life, and I hope you are a redneck loving life, because if not, then you're just loving a life that you don't have. Do you want to be a redneck? Are you a redneck? Is that something you want to? Hey, what's going on? I know. Because, remember, I was in the bathroom, and I saw you taking the bath, and I gave you the Darth Vader toy, because you wanted to play with the Darth Vader toy. Okay, make sure it's dry. I don't want a wet Darth Vader toy. Hey, Off-Axis FPV. Good to see you. Oh, yeah, a redneck with a 3D printing addiction. Nice. Well, then join the array of folks who also are somewhat addicted to 3D printing. Quite a few of them in here. Not everybody here 3D prints. I love the Mini. Redneck Love and Life. The Mini has been a champion for me. I don't take care of it as much as I should. Shut up, Krusty. I feel I can throw just about anything at it, and it works really well. It's been largely hassle-free. Most of what I print, I'd probably be better off printing in resin rather than FDM, like a typical FDM print. But, you know, it's easy, it's simple, straightforward. You're printing Space Gray PETG 50% Pit Droid from Droid Division. Oh, what's Droid Division? Is that someone who models Star Wars stuff? There are a few modelers out there. The problem is a lot of what they offer is not really optimized for FDM. It's really more for resin. Unless you scale it up and use an immense amount of supports. It's just like, at that point, it's not as interesting to me. I like the smaller stuff, personally. Everyone's got their favorite thing, though. Off-axis makes the droids you're looking for. Well, Off-axis. You are on point. If that's your axis, it's a good axis. About 11 minutes left on this print. And then we get to test it. This little practical print of a Tusken Raider. As soon as I figure out, though, how to make it work, and I may end up reprinting the lid. You have a Mark 3S with MMU, Zortrax, Ender 3 Pro, CR10s. Redneck, I'm pretty much only on a Mini. I'm probably the only person that you know of who is 3D printing who only has one. Everybody seems to have like 40. I'm like, one. Just one. That's it. I feel I don't know what I would do with more than one 3D printer. I know y'all, 3D print this. Like, nah, dude, I don't want to do tech support and manage and all that hassle. You've been debating doing an R2d2 Droid. I'm the guy that has the models on Patreon. I'm torn. I want to sign up for something like that. Oh, I see. So I would not mind. Yeah, I know. Each one of them have their own specific use. I totally get that. But I've been able to find that most of my, what it is that I might want to print, minus resin, something in resin. And there's a lot that I would do in resin. A lot. I find that this particular option has been great. You have a 3D printer hoarding problem? Yes, I've seen your danger den. And I would agree. If you're using them, I guess it's not a problem. If they're just sitting around gathering dust, it doesn't make any sense. Because it's a tool. I understand having a screwdriver around at some point. Because you may need it. But like a 3D printer, like if you already have one and it's suitable and it meets all your needs, then why continue, to get them? And I assume they get used for sure. Hang on. There's some Patreons that I've wanted to join, but the problem is, like I said, most of what they offer is optimized for resin printing. I'm like, I don't know if I would get as much use out of it. Now, granted, I could scale up the models, but then it becomes less interesting to me. Because I like the smaller stuff. Frozen Sonic Mini. I've never even heard of that. Redneck Love and Life. The Prusa Mini is pretty much the beginning and end for me. because it works. It's simple. It's straightforward. And I'm a big believer in I'd rather spend more to get a better experience than spend less and run into problems. Now, if you love tweaking and modifying and all that, I'm sure other options are viable. But Prussia's been rather fantastic. One printer's a screwdriver, one's a hammer, another's a saw. It seems to be that way to me. I don't know if I could go down that path. If you're talking about Michael Battley? You'll be very happy joining the community. Really amazing print files and easy setups. If I know there are Star Wars only Patreon campaigns. I've seen them, but I'm not like I said, it's like, oh, I don't know if I would be able to print that. It wouldn't work the way I would want it to. So it's like, the value of it just is automatically diminished. Prusa makes a resin printer. Yes, the one that Krusty has been using. That would probably be the one that I would go with. I don't know the model number, but Nibblebit says Prusa Slicer is also pretty killer. Just select and go. Yep. I haven't used any other slicer. It's pretty much been Prusa, despite many people suggesting Cura. I've been pretty happy with it. Like I can get my head around it. You're currently doing that Gambody Star Destroyer. That's going to be a project that's going to hog up my machine for a while. Who was it that I saw printing this gigantic Star Destroyer? Just crazy. This huge Star Destroyer. I'm like, my God, what are you gonna do with it? Like, at least the small stuff can get put away easily enough, but yeah, an S3D, still use PS, nothing better. You know, everyone finds their groove, but I'm not a hardware guy. I don't chase hardware. I'm not interested in hardware. Hardware is a means to an end. You know, whatever's going to be simple, straightforward for me. I'm a Mac OS guy. And I'm not saying that the Prusa Mini is as close to a Mac OS type of 3D printer experience at all, or an Apple 3D printer experience at all. But given what I've heard about other devices, it's probably, this one's probably the best option for me. Oh, it was Fred, the 3D printing. That's right. Because I caught that. I'm like, whoa, cool, dude. You plan to have a full-size Iron Man suit displayed in your living room? Dude, that's one hell of a goal. I haven't even come close to printing a full-scale anything, like helmet-wise. I know a lot of people love the helmet thing. Have not used Octoprint. I've managed to avoid a lot of the extras. I haven't needed them. Could it be more useful? Possibly. But I don't connect anything that doesn't need to be connected. So that's how I feel. I understand there's a matter of convenience, but like I have a dumb home for a reason. You're printing a Han Solo blaster. Oh, only 9 pieces? I didn't even realize it was that low. See, if I were to get a Han Solo blaster, I'd probably try to chase down a vintage toy before I 3D printed one. You have a big Goron sword? Not even sure what that fandom is. I almost read that as Gowron. That would be a Bat'leth. I know that fandom. Even though I'm Star Wars, I do know Star Trek. I speak other. Zelda. Okay. Zelda? Isn't that Ganon? Glory to you and your Bat'leth. Ocarina of Time. See, never watched it. Or never played it. The nice thing about 3D printing is you can use it and not feel bad about breaking an original. Yeah, but it still it's the quality that goes into it. And I know there are ways to mitigate a lot of that stuff, but Octoprint with spaghetti detector will kill prints and save your hot end. Yeah, I'm not really into I haven't had too many failures, honestly. Knock on wood. I've been lucky in the sense that most of what I've sliced, I mean, I've been able to monitor known quantities. I take a look at the file, and I'm like, okay, this is probably going to be where it's messed up. I did gamble on... Oops. on this one, this throne, Boba Fett's throne, previously Bib Fortuna's throne, right? I gambled on this one. Here, there's overhangs on this area and this area. Here, let me zoom in. So you can see the overhangs here and here. And I knew that would be too low, so you can see this one on this side kind of messed up in the front. There was some issues, so when I reprint this with a different layer height, basically doubling it, if only to get the runes to be a bit more clear, as well as kind of smoothing out the top there. I'm going to print with supports here. Thank you, Liz, for the cheer. Cheers. Loyal Moses could print this full size. In fact, I would be very disappointed in Loyal if he does not print a 3D print one of these specifically like life size. No, Joel Telling needs to 3D print one of these life size. I don't know if I've got the print volume to scale this up for Jedi's dolls, unfortunately. Because she wants one for her dolls, right? I'm like, I don't know. That'd be awfully big. It would almost have to be like twice the size of this in order to fit a doll. This one fits a Playmobil style or a 3.75 inch figure. Good scale. Or pull it up here. Right. It was designed for the play action figures. The person who designed this figure designed this. So they're meant to be kind of in line with one another. He would if Neil Patrick Harris asked him to. Well, the Neil Patrick Harris NPH, actually NPH needs to get on that. Seriously. You're already sitting in and out, Loyal. I demand proof. I demand proof of that, Loyal. What tribute have you brought for me? Just call me Max Shaiz. I am the mayor of Mos Espa. Off with you. Who are you? The Queen of Hearts, Loyal? Off with your head. Ugh.
Joshua_XP_cheerdex100. Will you print Jabba the Hutt with his sister sometime?
Well, it's not really Jabba the Hutt. It is a Hutt, and they are Jabba's cousins. Potentially, if the models are made, I could probably be convinced to do another Hutt. You're new to this cut. You're new to what, Loyal? There's nothing you're new at. You've done everything. And then some. So I do wonder. I wonder how... Because, I mean, I like the model. The model works. But I wonder if I just did if I doubled it. If I went 200%. If it would work. But, I mean, it's a lot of gambling with that. All right, here we go. We're going to try the toothpick holder, everyone. Oh, you're new to Star Wars. Yes. I forgot. You are new to you Star Wars noob. Alright, we're going to try to do this. Give me a second. Oop. Sorry, that's a little high, isn't it? I thought I had it lower. A second. I had to reboot and readjust the scene there. I need to get something else going, but I don't want to reprint I don't want to reprint this part until I know that that it works. this is the lid. Let me see. Yeah, it's a little chewy there. It's a little chewy, but I think it'll work. Okay, so then this is it. I've got the snug supports here. Alright, and a brim. Need to get the things here. Oh, I read mothers. You writing mothers as boffins. By the way, if anybody's going to Disneyland or Disney World before Eclipse Empire and U-Fly 1 can get there, let me know. Yeah, Retro Pit Stop, I think that's when they're talking about getting back to. Okay, let's try this here. I think that's that. Now, is this the top? How do I... Okay, that's the top. That's the lid. So then, this has got to go... I'm going to have to glue that in, I feel. Sorry, it's a little low. Give me a second. I'm going to have to glue this in. Oh, it might fit. And I'm thinking this goes in... Tight. Ooh, bit tight. So I'm gonna have to glue that in. Okay, so this is a little loose. Yeah, I'm gonna glue a couple pieces here. Well, I guess I can't glue that in. So what I have to do is, all right, you're about to see this work. You're going to eat your way into Star Wars? Well, that's one way of doing it. I have a feeling that... I have a bad feeling about this. Yeah, you want some weight added to the base. Well, it's loose. It's like there's not much of a it's too loose in terms of the tracking where the slotting is. Not sure if I could modify the base any at this stage. It's done, but if anything, you know, maybe putting a magnet on the bottom of it. Okay, so that's that. Now, okay, so that went in. So now, theoretically, see, I'm not sure I'm gonna want to glue that. Is it? Well, toothpicks are definitely coming out. Ah, it worked! Okay, so here we go. Yeah, I think I need to... It worked! Look at that! Ah! Alright. Alright, let's try it again. It worked. You can't put a lot of toothpicks in there. I'm not worried about reprinting this, although it's just too. The pieces are too loose. My problem with this at this stage, I don't need to reprint it necessarily, but the pieces, it's just not. It's too wobbly. It's not even the weight. It's not even the weight of this. It's that see how it's tilting. It's not it's too loose. The pieces are too loose. It would need to, and I don't want to go messing with measurements, but it could stand to be a little tighter. I mean, it does work. Like, if we have guests over, it's like, oh, you can have this little, oh, we have guests over. Oh, what is this? Oh, it's a toothpick holder. See, sometimes two come out, right? Not just one. So you can't put a lot in there. Yeah, two consistently keep coming out. Come on, dude. Come on. Y'all are going to be printing your own now, aren't you? Y'all are going to do it. Get it. Y'all are going to do it. I know you are. I know you are. Watch. Who does not want this in their life right now? I'm a Tuscan. I'm going to raid your mouth with a toothpick. Ah. I'm a Tuscan Raider. See what I mean? I just raided your mouth with a toothpick. Pretty wild. Pretty wild. This is what I was going for. It's not perfect, but it's kind of it's just a fun thing that we can do. A little looser than I would like it to be, but it's okay. Can't complain too loudly. Not bad for free. Guess I don't need to worry about what I thought I'd have to worry about. But you can't have a lot of toothpicks in here. It cannot withstand a lot of toothpicks. So this is definitely like, keep it out on the table maybe when you have guests over. This is like fine china. You only bring it out when guests come over, like really cool guests, like you totally get it. Like, you don't just bring this out for anybody. Why am I getting flashes? What's that flashing? This could have been tighter, and I don't think reprinting it is going to help. But there it is. Whew. 3 toothpicks that time. It's a bit much. Jedi's gonna have fun with it, I'm sure, for like a hot minute. Like, now Jedi, only if you're gonna use it. Oh, I need to use a toothpick. So you're gonna stab yourself with a mouth sword. Give me a second. See how that turned out. Alright, I'm gonna download that. Thank you for the clip. R2d2 here. I hired a Tuscan Raider to help me with these toothpicks. Is that right? I hired R2d2 2. There we go. All right. I had to tweet it out. So now I have tweeted it out. It has been twote. It's a quote tweet is a twote. Correct? That's what you call a quote tweet? A twote? Alright, so now I'm... What? Why is everything blurry? Why is my elbow blurry all of a sudden? What is going on with that? Why is it... There we go. Move it back there. Let's pop back to this view. I've got to get... Now that this is done... Now that I finished that... I need to print... the throne room, or throne, I should say, not throne room. The throne. I'm not gonna worry about it printing another lid there. That's pointless. The throne rancor. Did I? I kind of want to do 4. Because I'm going to need to do 4, aren't I? Throne, yeah. Game of Thrones, yeah. Game of Thrones. Throne, yeah. Game of Thrones, yeah. Game of Thrones. You want to see Star Wars in the Technic style? It already exists. It's older, but it exists. It does exist. Alright, so I'm going to go... Did I say 0.7 Ultra D2? I think I did. 2 hours. Yeah, that's about right. Infill. 10%. Adaptive cubic. I'm going to rotate them a bit. I would say a bit of... fair amount of time. Let's go ahead and rotate. I'm going to get this going here. You'll be able to watch it. Just shy of 2 hours. Hour 49. 4.7. Which is like super, super, super fine. Thank you, Off Axis. Appreciate it. Gonna get back to playing Fallen Order. Enjoy, Off Axis. Shout out to Off Axis. Didn't realize that you were also streaming here on Twitch. Off Axis, I apologize. Glad that you're playing Jedi Fallen Order. It's a fun game. And you seem to love Star Wars. Let's give you a follow. I just gave Off Axis a follow. Maybe everyone else is gonna follow suit. Now, I've already beaten Jedi Fallen Order twice. I've beaten Jedi Fallen Order twice. Like it's, I mean, I enjoyed it, but like my daughter wanted me to play it with her. I don't know if I'm going to be able to do the Skywalker Saga twice, but I'm going to try doing that on Twitch, on the PC, if and when it's ever released. Okay, so this is definitely going to take like a long time. A long time. What I'm about to print. Because they're the Rancor for the front of the throne. And then afterward, I may end up doing printing the throne, the actual throne, overnight. Boba Fett's throne. Ooh, I don't know if I can do that higher resolution. Is that? Yeah, I'm gonna have to. That's at a point. It's gonna take a bit. And this time. Oops, what the heck? I hate when, like, I click one thing and it... How the fraggity? No, that's not even close. It's not even close. trying to print the overhangs. For the model that I've already printed that I showed you. And it's not cut and dry as much as you'd think it would be. Ugh. And the problem is that it's such a high poly count. Hey! Thank you so much. Yeah, I will be setting the supports to snug for sure. Zetron, thank you for following. Yeah, I always set the supports to snug. And there's not a lot of supports that need to exist with this particular model. It's good, but it's definitely going to take overnight for me to be able to do. It ain't going to be quick. Because I'm going at a higher quality. If only for the runes and the top. I mean, the 0.2 mm is fine. I'm just going to go a little finer. Just a little finer. Yeah, 9 hours. It's going to take a while. Those are the only overhangs that I seemingly ran into issue with here. And they weren't even tremendous. It wasn't a tremendous issue, but it was enough that I'm like, okay. So this one's gonna get printed basically same way. It's gonna be printed. I'm probably gonna spray paint it gold too. But this same model is going to be printed again, but just finer. Come on. So this one, oh come on. Sometimes Mac OS is annoying as hell. This is what I want. There we go. So this is what I'm printing, but I'm going to be printing it at higher detail. So that should be a little smoother. It should turn out a bit smoother. The rune should turn out a bit smoother being printed. I wouldn't say like night and day necessarily, but if I'm doing it, I might as well do it. Go all the way. See how well it turns out. I won't be doing it in the chocolate brown. I'm going to let the chocolate brown do. I'm going to do the Rancor faces here in the chocolate brown. Not just here, but also on the second one that I'm doing. But I'll be printing it up tonight. I hope to be able to get it off to the printer tonight before going to bed, because that's one thing that I could wake up tomorrow morning and say, all right, this is done. This is ready to be processed. Should get some model paint, wash or thin down some paint with water, and wash those runes. Yeah, chemicals. Yeah, Gamer260, I did. I changed it to the cubic. What is it? Adaptive cubic, whatever. Seemingly does take a fair amount off. It does a fairly decent job. Not like night and day necessarily, but it shaves off time. Anytime you can shave off time, it's a good thing. It's designed for low infill printing. Okay. What's this? Oh, is this the rub and buff? Yeah, this is the one that everyone's talked about. The rub and buff. Chemicals. Alright. Metallic finish, antique gold. They got different finishes. That was a quick wipe on, wipe off solution. Yeah, that's about it. That's us. But I know people had recommended the rub and buff previously, loyal. So it's not a new recommendation, but I know for this kind of thing it might be able to benefit. You know, anything that just adds too much. I don't know. I just feel like the more you add to something, the more it just kind of takes away. And honestly, there's something to be said about a pure gold kind of finish, right? You want to try it? Never finished a print. The most that we've done is just spray painted, which, you know, it's ample. I mean, this is stylish. This is pretty. It admittedly is really wild how you can go from nothing to this in a day, right? Or less than a day, potentially. That's the thing that just kind of blows me away as far as printing is concerned. Especially the larger models, or the models that you can't otherwise find, you know, for purchase. Now, this may not be as visual, because unfortunately, like I said, it's going to take a while. This is it. These small pieces, because I'm printing it at such fine resolution, 0.07 millimeter layer height. They're gonna be fine, because they're intended. They're gonna be sitting in the front of these thrones, right? So I was like, oh, well, I might as well just add detail. And because I know I want to do two, I don't think I would have been able to do another one today for the thrones, because I wanted to finish the this thing, the toothpick holder, to get a Tusken Raider. Like I said, though, I just wish I do wish the model was a bit better, because like the lid is a bit loose, and you can't really, the lid you can't really, well, I guess I could glue the lid on. I guess I could. If I glue the lid on, it's just a little more. I guess I may have to, though. But it's just getting then I'd be sticking the toothpicks in. Yeah, I think I need to glue the lid on for this. There's no way of increasing the tolerance of the other part, though. I don't think there's a way to tighten that. You don't think you've ever done anything super fine detail? Yeah, usually I'm 0.15. That's been mostly ample for what I'm doing. Like, this is all 0.2. Because anything beyond that, I feel it's kind of a law of diminishing returns. I did see there is almost like a shift that happened on this one, but nothing like that really absolutely needs to be redone. I am going to, I think, glue the lid on, just because it's one less thing to keep in place when moving it up and down. You know, just but the fact that it does work, it's a practical print, so Krusty should be thrilled. But as I said, this one's gonna take me into the evening, and I'm beat. It's almost 8 o'clock. Sunday night, Monday's tomorrow. I mean, Let me see how Monday's shaping up. Monday's gonna be fun. Oh, Monday is going to be fun. Oh, man. It's gonna Monday, so... Oh, dude. Monday is gonna... It's just gonna slap me upside the face. Monday's gonna be a total slap me upside the face fest. And I'm gonna be shaking my head. At the end of the day, I'm like, how did I make it? Just think you're not the guy who had to explain to Lord Vader he was trying to save energy on the ship by not blasting empty escape pods. Can't be worse than this. I don't know. I don't know. The Midnight Smith. Shout out to the Midnight Smith. You block all meeting requests on Mondays. I am not in the position to do that. Like I things that need to happen sooner rather than later are going to happen sooner rather than later. Like I said, I'm about to enter a very intense period. It's going to be incredibly intense. It's going to make all this even more fun than it is. Star Wars is my escape. I'm not going to say 3D printing is my escape. 3D printing Star Wars could be considered an escape. Okay, I'm going to empty this out because I'm going to glue this, I think. I'll let Jedi play with it and then I'll glue it. She want to play with it. I'll say, hey Jedi, you want to see a magic trick? Okay, watch. Look at the Tusken Raider. Okay, yeah? Watch this. She'll be like, what? It's a magic trick. Then she can show it off at school tomorrow. You're canceling your team's account? You should be safe. Yeah. I don't know, Krusty. My fun new thing. Yes! The skill builder. I'm going to... I think the best way to put it is I'm about to run a gauntlet. It's the easiest way to put it. I'll be gauntlet running. Let's see here. So, let's see here. This is... Oh, I should... Did I... Oh, I did. Okay. Great. First layer, 0.1. Export. G-code. Throne. Rancors, 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 10 hours. So if I start 10 hours, so it's 8 now, 8, 9, 10, we'll finish this. 10 hours from 10, 8 in the morning. Okay. If this prints overnight successfully, and I have every belief that it will, the rancors will be done in 2 hours. That's easy. I mean specifically what I've got to print next, or what I'm looking to print next. Not in the chocolate though. I'm gonna go straight up the previous one and then do it gold again, because I might as well. Why do I think Disney's releasing Pixar movies on a Disney Plus instead of theaters? Because, dude, we're still in the middle of a pandemic. Omicron slapping our asses silly. So, yeah, they want it to be somewhat successful. They want it to be received. Period. Timing. Timing. It's a matter of timing. And they're not gonna... They wouldn't likely make a lot of money Anyway. No, I don't want to... Okay, so... As much as our subs are they every day they go down a bit, I don't... Those are sub points. Not total subs. Which is unfortunate. I'm not going to update the sub goal until February, because we've reached our January sub goal. Like, we've made it. Today. Now, tomorrow when we log in, we may be under the 300 total subs. At which point, we've got to try to push to make that goal. But I can't, in good conscience, update that sub goal until February. We've met it. Like, I'd be like changing the goalposts on you. I'm like, wait a minute, didn't we already? I'm like, I don't know. Chris, what you don't get is that people see that and subliminally think he doesn't need my sub. You're turning away business. Yeah, but at the same time, how am I supposed to update the sub goal? I mean, the problem is if I make it too high and we can't reach it, then that's one problem. If I change the goal now that we've made it, I could call it a January stretch goal. I could do that. Is that fair? I could do that, I guess. Manage goals. Right? End goal. Right? Stretch goal. Description. January sub stretch goal. And so I can say, let's say the sub there we go. Like this. But if the goal is never... I know, Crack Pyrex, this is the problem. So now we've got a January subscriber stretch goal. So we've got the stretch goal, but now what? How am I... Now we're like... Look at that. I changed the goal, and it already fell under 300. Oh... Never set goals. Thank you, Retro Pit Stop.
Stop just gifted 1 subs.
It's Mark's fault. I blame Mark. I'm now under 300. Well, 295. There we go. And for whatever it's worth, these aren't actual subs. They're sub points. So like tier 2 and tier 3 subs get like automatically add more points. It's just a generality. Like it's impossible to like explain that to people. Loyal, helping us get back to the previous goal, which is very appreciated. We are now at the previous January goal. Yes. We did it. Again. That's appreciated. Pushing us into a hype train, I see.
I blame Kurt. He hasn't watched the movie Big yet.
How have you gotten this far in life, Kurt, without watching Big? Even I've seen Big. I saw Big a long time ago. Oh. Thank you, Loyal, for the 5 subs gifts, including to Patrick. Patrick's now subbed. That Y-Wing guy, another streamer here on Twitch. TC Jamie. Goals are greater than fools. In this world, yes. You watch good movies. Big is not a good movie. It's just an iconic movie. You kind of have to watch it in order to understand culture. It's all about understanding culture. Do you not wish to understand culture, Kurt? No, you anti-culturite. Fixin' Dude gifting 2.
Just gifted 2 subs.
All right, let me go grab Palpy. Hello. That's a filament. everywhere here. Chris has got to vacuum in here again. I am holding on to my favorite Sith Lord. Right here. This is Darth Vader. Thank you, Krusty, for the cheer. I'm going to go ahead and turn on the hype train drawing and remove this light. Put it in here. I don't care about making a mess. I don't have to clean it up. That is for Chris to do. I am just here to cheer on the hype train. What is this? Did Chris change his goal? Is that what he did? He was at 300. Wait a minute. Is he? Wait a second. Hang on. How is this? 302. But wait a minute. We had more. How? I am not skilled at the mathematics. Chris doesn't just smell bad. He's got a stench about it. He is putrid. Vile. The scent permeates your olfactory senses, down to the microcellular level, smaller than midi-chlorians. I used to collect midi-chlorian files. Played them on my Windows
Smith
PC.
just gifted 1 subs.
Oh, thank you, the Midnight Smith, for gifting a sub to Bo Play Photos. Who loves photos. He loves Bo playing with his photos, which is an outstanding thing to do. Yes, like the Old Spice Witcher commercial. The Witcher. Another good series that Chris has watched in recent weeks. The one that Chris is confused about is Station 11. That's the weird one.
Fix some dude cheer Dex 100. You know what else I heard is smaller than midichlorians?
What? What's smaller than midichlorians? Chris? He's pretty small. He's minuscule. Teeny tiny. Stop what, Loyal? Stop what? Nothing to stop. Well, I'm used to the short jokes. Emperor Palpatine is not exactly known for his height. Or his width. At all. He's not known for his dad jokes either. He needs to up his dad joke game. He needs to tune into Zach Rutledge more frequently. Because Zach Rutledge is giving away a PS5 in between telling all his dad jokes. Giving away a PS5 in March. Everything is short. Everything. I have. Hang on. There's a name I'm not exactly familiar with. Here on well, somewhat. Matheson Steplock. Asking how to 3D print the Tusken Raider. So I'm replying to him on Chris's behalf. Oh, you're giving away a copy. Oh, I get it, Liz. I get it. You're giving away a copy of the movie Big as opposed to small. The movie Big is smaller than midichlorians? For real? I didn't know that. Alright, you got through level 2. There are your points. I now return you to Chris. Gosh, it's much easier to come back into these things than it is to leave. Yeah, this Vader... I don't know, this Vader... It looks like whoever had it before. Yeah, this is the one that I think Diana got cut on. Yeah, this is the one. Yeah, I'm thinking I'm going to be donating this. This is the one that Diana sliced herself on. See, I get rid of things. Star Wars things. Although... I'm pretty sure I picked this up thrifting anyway. Chris donates helmet, slices a child. It's out of my hands at that point. Dang, dude. Well, they may take it. If they don't, not a big deal. Buyer beware. Because I'm not going to deal with it. Kept falling apart. It's done. They find Diana's DNA. Yeah, they cloned Diana from it. You think you're going to do a 3D print giveaway this week? Oh, really? What are you thinking about giving away? You're starting to sound like Loyal. Loyal gives things away like that, too. I've debated doing something similar. I don't know. My fear is that I would be inundated with giveaways. And unless a lot of stuff I'm printing, I don't think I will, like this. Like, I don't think a lot of people would be as interested in this as I was to print. And the cost of shipping and all that, just kind of, it adds up. You printed a ton? Hey, Ikafar. Good to see you. Give away my Nook. I'm not going to do that. Why would I give away a stream PC? Can't do that. The Vader model is free. It is... See if I can find it for you. Looking up Vader in my history, unfortunately, is very not it's here somewhere. See if I can find it. Oh man, trying to get it again is going to be difficult. I had a link at one point. Come on. Let's see if I can find it for you. Vader. Vader! Doctor's in the house. Is he? He is. Printing with his chocolate filament. He doesn't call it chocolate. He calls it tree brown. Tree brown. Look at Loyal. Loyal's trying to give away all my stuff. What's up with that? Let's see if I can find the Vader model for you. Darth Vader. Is it Darth Vader by Ranax? It is. Darth Vader by Ranax. This one. You're loving Boba Fett so far? Of course! Because it's awesome. Trees aren't... Exactly, trees are not brown. This is exactly what I was saying. This prints best at an angle. Like a 30-degree angle. With supports. But it works really well. That's this one. So it's like, it's become my new favorite Vader, apart from the Vader figure, which I love, and I haven't printed with new filament. I have no new filament colors to use right now, or at least I haven't been going through them as of late. But as I get to them, like, oh, I haven't done this color yet, then this is one of those, like, oh, I've got a new Vader to print in this color, and then the figure, but I already had the this color figure beforehand. If I called it chocolate brown, I would get thousands of negative reviews complaining that it's not real chocolate brown. Oh, so you call it tree ground because None of my customers ever go outside. Well, that's smart, actually. That's smart marketing. David, I leave the marketing to you. I am but a lowly Star Wars nerd. Looking at it and thinking, oh, that looks like chocolate. Totally random, but you, sir, have the lowest ID I've seen on Twitch. Oldest account. How'd you know? Eclipse? How'd you know my account age? Oops, if I say it right. Account age. It is not chocolate, no. 14 years. Does it say it on my profile? I think it does say it on my profile. I didn't really start using Twitch until last year. About a year ago is when I really started using Twitch. And according to numbers, grew by about 5,000 followers over the course of that year, which is great. Eclipse. So how do we, am I older than you, younger than you? Eclipse? Oh, 8 years. Oh, yeah, I beat you, Eclipse. Oh, date shown by BTTV. But the ID shown by the API. Just got your app working. Oh, I have 60,000 as someone else has 8 or 9. Wow, I am low, aren't I? Ooh, what app are you working on, Eclipse? I've had a few ideas for some Twitch apps I'd like to see developed, personally. Some that I would find to be very, very useful. Very handy, very helpful. I like trying new apps to see what works. You know, for interactive, you know, features and what have you. This shirt is, I'm done with, like, this shirt is, look, I hate the way this neck hangs. This shirt is just too big now. It's too loose. I'm too small. Or according to YouTube, dying. Just person won't keep tracks, who's online, get notification, that kind of stuff, because they fall 445 channels. Oh my god. That's a lot. Well, I appreciate you following me. All the more reason I have a set, you know, general schedule. 6 p.m. every night. Since we don't have categories or even favorites. Yeah, Twitch is, I mean, it works. It definitely works. It does work. I feel Twitch works better than YouTube. Me personally. Matheson Steplock. I know that. I mean, he's been here before. You, the Star Wars guy. Of course I follow you. Naturally. Like, it's upsetting to me when I go to a Twitch channel and they're not talking about Star Wars. Oh, you're Matheson. Oh, derp. Now I got it. See, when people use different names, I'm like, I've heard that name before. I know I've heard that name. Got you that link. I was looking at Twitter after posting that clip. If only Twitch would allow us to put our follow channels into folders. Yeah. At some point, maybe Twitch will get better at it. My concern is when you start when users start managing their stuff, certain important things will get buried. And right now, it's not the case. If they change that, it could be a big paradigm shift in engagement. Because right now, it's ranked by popularity, right? Like, so many people are, you know, if you're following people who've got 1,000 people streaming, they're always going to hit the top of the list. Everybody else is just distant second. So that's the problem when you're following tons of people. And everyone's, you know, got 1,000 people watching at any given time. You're never going to be able to crack that top 10. Makes it that much more difficult. If I could add any feature to Twitch, what would it be? I don't know. You would take off autoplay on the homepage? Yeah, that's kind of annoying. Top one on your list has 24,000? Damn. I'm not following anybody like that. At least that I know of, unless they got lucky or they hit the front page. That's always possible. Ah. I've been getting plenty of sleep. I just don't know why I'm as tired as I have been. I'm at the top of your list. Ikafar, that's awesome. I appreciate that. Most of the channels I follow are just so I won't forget about them. I don't care about watching them. Even they have thousands of viewers, the ones I care about are always at the bottom of the list. Yeah, you know, that's the thing, is like they're more interactive. And I think those are the streams that I think I would rather prioritize, are the ones that are interactive. Because I do follow a fair amount of people, but I'm like, you know, I follow them, and I'll visit, and I'll hang out. But like, if they're not interacting, it's just like, it's not as interesting to me. I mean, and there's some of them got, you know, really good content, and they may have content that I enjoy, you know, watching or listening to. But I definitely personally prioritize the people who are interactive with chat versus the type of content. And the more people that are in chat, it seems that the less interactive they are. You can't keep up. You're dreading Monday and making you sleep. That's probably what it is, Krusty. That would not surprise me. Tomorrow's going to be a Monday. I will say that. You know, I like I said, I would rather. It's nice to have followers. It's nice to have a follower count, but I'd rather have of course, a higher sub count, because that's kind of what matters. Of course, Twitch ends up taking half of everything. Just assume that. Like, when you see a number, like, oh, you must be really good. Twitch takes half. Like, right off the top. So you automatically lose everything. Half of everything. Just makes the drive that much harder. But I'm not a full-time streamer. I'm not sure what it would take to be a full-time streamer. I think for me, full-time streaming would probably be including selling things. Like, you know, when I go thrifting or reselling and doing, like, what do they call them? Like, auctions. Like, okay, this is going to be number 74. Number 74, we've got a Darth Vader print. I'm selling this print. You know, I'm not saying I'm selling it, because I don't think I have the right or ability to do it. But let's say it's an action figure, right? And I'm reselling it for, I could say I'm selling this filament. I'm selling this filament that just so happens to be in the shape of Darth Vader. I didn't make the model, so I definitely don't own the IP. I'm giving you anxiety about Monday? I'm trying to psych myself up, not out. It's exactly why I made my own app, to add tags, categories, however I like, search mix on whatever text I said. You know, Eclipse, that's probably a good foundation for a general app for anybody to use for themselves. I mean, heaven knows if there's a value to it. Of course, that's probably it's a different type of product than what you're doing, if you're just doing it for yourself as opposed to a polished product, stem to stern, and all the requirements surrounding it. Still, I mean, it is something. Tuesday's your first day back to college. Online since the Christmas break. Nice. Thought about it. Yep, it is more to add if I would release it. You'd have to. Because I'm guessing just for you, it's not perfectly polished. It's data, but probably nothing atop that that's terribly fancy. But, you know, people are always looking for different ways of managing their stuff, and Lord knows enough creators have complained about discovery. Also, the fact I plan to move to another country this month. Oh, have fun. That is something I've never had to worry about. Never had to do. Almost did, but didn't. That would have been interesting. It's data, not data. Now admit it. You just read that in two different ways. I did not. I said it's data, not data. Data? Very anxiety inducing. Yeah, there are certain stress, like the top stressors in life. 1, getting a new job. 2, moving. What's the third? There's like top stressors. I'm like, yep, I've done it. Did it. Done it. Hey, Zangers. Good to see ya. Virtually. I can't actually see you. Don't start freaking out. Like when you're like, wait a minute. What do you mean you can see me? How can you see me? That doesn't even make any sense. Now these are gonna be some fine Rancor heads. Probably overkill, but just because I wanted the detail in the head portions of them. Hence the .07. You're getting a job there as well. Well, that's a step in the right direction. Britt is 3D printing tonight. I caught her briefly. Yeah, I have a hidden camera in your... Don't, no, I don't, I wouldn't do that. This Vader is so good, I've even considered doing him at like 200%. This even though I like the scale of this, it doesn't quite stand at it. It's a little taller than a 4-inch scale. I could probably scale it down without losing too much detail, as long as it's super high quality. But I've thought about doubling it to see how it turns out. This is another printed solid filament here. You did catch me briefly on Ian Douglas's stream. I was tuned in. He's been not threatening. That's the wrong word. I used my Prime sub on Ian. Yeah, I used my free sub on Ian. You put an offer in the house today. Well, good luck, D. Randolph. Very stressful. I've done that before. I need the my next move is going to be to I'm going to move next door to Loyal Moses. I would never do that because I couldn't do half the things that Loyal does. Building things, running around, it's just would not happen. It would never happen. But yeah, I gave my Prime sub to Ian, and he's talked about kind of helping me go over my my LinkedIn, which is pretty much the foundation of my resume. So I do want to take him up on that at some point in the future. Maybe even like one of these Thursdays, I may start the evening on his stream as we go through it, just kind of flesh it out. I'm not looking for anything new. It's just I need something that's there that is good. Ow. Give me a second. That reminds me. I've been on a horse before. Of course. I've been on a horse, of course. Do horse, of course. I needed to look up a photo here. If I can find... There we go. This was back in... When the hell this was? This had been 1996 or so. A huge man cave, so I have somewhere for all my toys. That's smart. Jessie will get almost 14x the backyard size that she has now. Oh, nice. I see. That's the problem. Is like we moved to a place. This is new. Something in my sidebar just popped up that says Chris Perlo viewers also watch. Oh, really? Who else do they also watch? Just curious. If I moved or we moved anywhere in particular, it would probably be like somewhere with more space. It probably would be with more space. But like I was talking about the other week, I would love to move to a place where I could actually host events on property. Because I think that's probably retirement for me. I always thought that'd be kind of fun. Kind of fun to do. Like flea marketing. Looking to leave Washington. I don't know where it's going to take me. I don't know where that would take me. I mean, in order to get space, you gotta go like Loyal's direction, and then you lose people, right? I'm not from Seattle originally. I'm originally from Iowa, where there is space. But I mean, God, I don't even know. It would take an act of God to move me back there. Because I very much... Seattle's home now. Oh, interesting. Just saw in your sidebar, people are watching Anthony Bourdain, Ron Cleveland, DS Koopa. All right. See, DS Koopa, he's got a good model, right? He sells retro stuff. He's got a store where he sells retro stuff. So people buy from him during the stream. And I think that would be something that would be interesting to do on Twitch. But I don't have that as a business, right? I'm not selling things as a business, so it'd be a bit more difficult to manage. Apart from one-offs, right? And that doesn't necessarily scale as opposed to standing inside of a store. If I had a toy store, then yeah, it would be a little easier to do. If I had an eBay store, it'd be easier to do. But I don't manage any of that stuff. Because it doesn't scale. It's more hassle than it's worth. Tell you what, if I opened anything, it would have I'd sell Funko Pops full time. I'm not as interested in them, but a lot of people are. I'm like, okay. It would make money. I have a few Funko Pop stuff, but... Edmonds, Washington, pretty nice. A little remote, but yeah. You can set up a store on your sideboard, like Etsy. Yeah, I've got an Etsy store. I just haven't sold anything through it in ages. I'm not sure if I would want to get into selling the 3D stuff either. Not just dealing with licensing, but it's not as interesting to me. You gotta push a lot in order to drive any kind of revenue. So it just becomes more taxing on time. You got a new Funko Pop? Oh, I didn't know they had a Bozo Funko Pop. I saw Pennywise. I saw a 5 POA Pennywise Super 7 figure. I passed on it. I'm like, yeah, I really don't want that. I pass on most of the Funko Pop. Even the Star Wars Funko Pops, I pass on a lot of them. A lot. Even the exclusives. They just they take up space. It's like, well, I really have to like it. Like, a lot. There's a lot of fun licensed stuff on Etsy. Yeah, there is. I mean, some people I know, they have storefronts. And they sell stuff. Like, used stuff. Like, vintage items. That would be fun. But it takes a lot of work. And it takes a lot of time. And it takes money. Capital. That's where I always feel that, doing an event is it's a lot easier to manage than it would be to manage a store, because you'd have to buy and sell in volume, like in order to drive any kind of revenue, like any kind of meaningful revenue. So it's you're just doing it, you're farting around with it, you're not doing anything serious. So it's like, unless there's a model behind it, it doesn't make any sense to me. No, I'm not asking for any help from anybody, because I'd have to do it myself. But that's like I said, where I kind of go back to events. Events are manageable. Why would I sell when I can host people who are selling? I'd rather go that route. It'd be easier to generate. It is easier to generate revenue that way, and be the person that runs it, be the person who owns that. So I just soon set that up somewhere. We're not anywhere near that right now, not with the pandemic being what it is. Wow, okay, this is actually kind of flying along. It's going to be a lot. It's got an hour left on those Rancor faces. That just tells you just how much detail is going to be going into these things. Like an immense amount of detail. Immense. Immense. Papa Bear AZ is streaming. Let's give him a raid. He is tinkering in Tinkercad. I have some things I'm going to do tonight. I'm going to finish the Rancors. Going to print another this. Potentially it'll be prepped for tomorrow. Don't know. We'll see. We'll see how tomorrow goes. Tomorrow's going to be like, my mind is going to be in other places. Star Wars and 3D printing are basically... Star Wars 3D printing and Twitch are not the focus of tomorrow. Why does this Boba Fett not want to sit his ass down? There we go. All right. I love you. I appreciate you, but at this point, I'm going to leave you to your own devices, and may the Force be with you always. We're going to be Tusken rating Papa Bear AZ, who is a member of the Locker Room Stream team. Really appreciate his support. He's been in here as well. I see him in a lot of other channels that I frequent, people who are also 3D printing here on Twitch. Here we go. Tusken rating. Thank you for getting that Perilla Raider emote ready. Coda120 and Kurt Grosser, everybody else. Here we go. Tusken rating Papa Bear AZ in 3, 2, 1. I hope everybody has a good Monday. I hope I have a good Monday. Here we go. Tusken rating. Wait. Crap. Gotta do it again. Get in focus. Get in focus. Come on. There we go. Come on. Get in focus. Almost ran out of time.
What? Chris? Oh.